Bill Clinton took his turn testifying about his involvement with Epstein to Congress. I'm body language expert and behavior analyst Traci Brown. Let's take a look at what he has to say about it and see if he's telling 100% truth or not. Watch this. Stay tuned for my analysis.
I just finished testifying in front of the House Oversight Committee. I did it for two reasons. First, I love my country, including our Constitution. And America was built on the idea that no person is above the law, even presidents, especially presidents, and that we should all live under the same set of rules. This kind of democracy requires every person to play their part. And I hope that by being there today, we can bring ourselves just a little further away from the brink and back to being a country where we can disagree civilly and we can search for truth and justice, and that it outweighs the partisan urge to score points and create spectacle. The second reason I was there is that the girls and women whose lives Jeffrey Epstein destroyed deserve not just justice, but healing. They've been waiting too long for both. Though my brief acquaintance with Epstein ended years before his crimes came to light, and though I never witnessed during our limited interactions any indication with what was truly going on, I offered the little I do know in the hopes that it would help prevent anything like this from ever happening again. I also have to say something personal. Republicans made Hillary testify yesterday, and she had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, nothing. She has no memory of ever even meeting him. She neither traveled with him nor visited any of his properties. So whether 10 people or 10,000 people were subpoenaed, including her, was simply not right. So here's what I told the committee. First, I had no idea of the crimes Epstein was committing. No matter how many photos they show of me, I have two things that at the end of the day matter far more than any interpretation of 20-year-old photos. I know what I saw, and more importantly, what I didn't see. And I know what I did, and more importantly, what I didn't do. I saw nothing and I did nothing wrong. As someone who grew up in a home with domestic violence, not only would I not have flown on his plane if I had any inkling of what he was doing, I would have turned him in myself and led the call for justice for his crimes, not the sweetheart deal we got. But even with 20/20 hindsight, I saw nothing that ever gave me real pause. We're only here today because Epstein hid it from everyone so well for so long. And by the time it came to light with his 2008 guilty plea, I had long stopped associating with him. When the video of my testimony today is released, I hope it will motivate everyone to go in front of Congress to say what they know. I hope it will motivate the Justice Department to finally release all the files and to ensure that this never happens again. The survivors deserve that.
He picked a really different, venue than Hillary did. Hillary went right out to the press. He scripted this. He's in a library and he's using a teleprompter. He's got this message of hope and unity. So really setting a different stage for what he's going to tell us. Now, throughout this, he uses a lot of one shoulder shrugs, and it's on our right. So that says, like, at the time of whatever he's saying, that he may not believe or have a lot of confidence in what is coming out of his mouth. So watch for those. And at first, when he talks about girls and women, you see him start to get uncomfortable there, right? So we know that there's some stress there. And did you see that smile when he said, here's what I told the committee? Now, I don't want to go as far as saying complete duper's delight on that, but it could very well be. And he is, he's having fun with what he told them. And after he says, what I didn't do, we saw his lips go tight and he rolled him in there. So he's holding back information there. So now through this, he's focused on what he didn't do, but we don't get any information on what he did do, and that is suspicious to me. He does get hypothetical, and he gives us a resume statement. You know, I grew up in a home with violence, and I would have done this, or I would have done that. And so those are the kind of things that let me know that he's covering up something that he did do. He and Hillary both call Epstein's deal a sweetheart deal, and with Bill, we see him tighten up his lips there, and so there's some silent disagreement that he has either with the deal he got or with something around Epstein's punishment. And here's the kicker. He says, and let me read this to you, with 20/20 hindsight, and we saw the one shoulder shrug. Okay, so that says he's not planning on telling us the truth here. He said, I saw nothing that gave me real pause. So let's talk about that word choice that he used. He said real pause. He didn't say, I saw nothing that gave me pause. So something gave him pause, and he's trying to negate whatever that pause is, because it wasn't real pause, right? Nothing was really wrong. That's a surefire sign that something was very, very out of line. Okay, so he didn't say everything that I saw and everything that I did was on the up and up. He did not say that. So what he's using is availability bias. And that is that whatever's on his mind is like whatever he's doing, he's trying to negate somehow by setting it up as a negative instead of telling us exactly what happened that was on the good side of things as he would want us to believe. So yeah, there's a lot more here that he's not saying. I don't think we're getting the truth about what went on in that hearing, and I don't think he told him the truth while he was in there. And so hopefully we'll get to see the video from him and Hillary, and we can be like kids in a candy store and go through that line by line. But until then, just know that you can use this information for you in your life, whether it's sales, negotiations, hiring. I think that's super important with your kids. All these places, like that's where the rubber meets the road. And so what I want you to do, if you want to know more, go up here to my profile. In the first link under the red arrow on TikTok, that is my newsletter sign up, and it's free. Just sign up. I'll send you tips once a month in your inbox. On other platforms, it is in the, look for that red arrow in the comments. And I got something super cool. I can't announce it yet, but I'm going to do it first in my newsletter. And being there is important because you're going to want to get the jump on people, because you're going to want to get involved, and timing is going to be of the essence. So now you know. TB out.